Hello my friend, I'm back with a good news show to help you get through June. And though the headlines will have you thinking otherwise, the world actually hasn't been short of good news lately. So I've got a bunch of stories to share with you, from a major win for one of Florida's last coral reefs, and even some good news from Chernobyl. Who would have thought? If you're new here, I'm Sam and I make videos highlighting good news and solutions to some of the world's biggest problems. And if you've been here before, it's lovely to have you back. And if you've been enjoying these roundups, tap that like button down below to help spread some goodness on social media that so often likes to throw doom and gloom at our news feeds. So let's get into it. Here's some good news you might have missed. And our first story takes us to this place in Singapore. And no, this isn't a park, it's actually a hospital where patients recover alongside gardens filled with butterflies, birds and dragonflies. This is Khoo Puat Hospital, where nature is built into almost every part of the experience. Every patient is positioned so they can see greenery from their bed, with over 700 species of plants across the site. You'll even find rooftop gardens growing food, along with spaces designed for specific needs, like a dementia garden. It's based on something called biophilic design, which means bringing nature into buildings to support well-being. Because research shows that patients with access to nature can recover faster, feel less stressed, and even report less pain. Projects like this are helping to rethink what hospitals could look like in the future, as not just places for treatment, but spaces that support healing. And from one transformed space to another, over in Germany, a region once scarred by decades of mining has been turned into something nobody would have expected. Germany has transformed former coal mines into Europe's largest artificial lake landscape, turning a once industrial region into a thriving tourism destination. The area, known as Lusatian Lakeland, now spans around 14,000 hectares and includes 23 lakes. For decades, the region was heavily mined for lignite, leaving behind huge craters in the ground. But over time, these pits have been flooded and restored, gradually transforming it into a destination with beaches, harbours and growing tourism. It's a sign that even landscapes defined by fossil fuels can be reimagined for a different future. Next up, we're heading to the Bahamas, where they've eliminated mother-to-child transmission of HIV, meaning babies are now born free from the virus. Through testing and treatment during pregnancy, transmission has been reduced to almost zero. The milestone has now officially been certified by the World Health Organization, marking a huge moment for public health. Now for something a little more unexpected. This next story takes us to Chernobyl, once the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster, that has now become an unlikely wildlife sanctuary where animals are now thriving without humans. After the 1986 explosion forced people to leave, the area was left almost entirely untouched, and in the decades since, animals like wolves, bears and lynx have returned, along with growing population of Przewalski's horses. I hope I pronounced that right. They're one of the last wild horse species. Some of these populations are now similar to those found in protected nature reserves, despite the area's history. Scientists say the biggest reason for this isn't that radiation is harmless, but that humans are gone. Without farming, hunting or development, ecosystems have had space to recover, and similar patterns are now being seen in other exclusion zones like around Fukushima, where wildlife has also returned in large numbers. It's a powerful sign that even after something as devastating as Chernobyl, nature still has the ability to recover if we give it the chance. And staying on the topic of nature's comeback, a major study in Ecuador has found that tropical rainforests can recover over 90% of their biodiversity within just 30 years, when left to regenerate naturally. The researchers looked at more than 8,500 species across 62 different sites, comparing farmland, regrowing forest, and untouched rainforest. They found out that once you stop using the land, trees start coming back quite quickly, and then animals like bats, birds and mammals help speed things up by spreading seeds and helping plants grow. It's a hopeful reminder that even heavily damaged rainforests don't have to be lost forever, if they're also given the chance to recover. Before the last few stories, I want to say a big thank you to my Patreon and YouTube community who helped me produce these videos and shine light on people fighting to make a better future for us all. If you think good news deserves more airtime, for the price of a cup of coffee each month, you can join the fight against all of the doom and gloom, help me make more of these videos, access exclusive content, and get your name in them too. To support, just scan this QR code or tap the Patreon link below to join the club. And if it's easier, I've also just set up YouTube membership, so you can just tap that join button down below to become a supporter over here instead, with all the same perks. Now back to the good news, and we're heading to Indonesia, where a group of artists is turning palm leaves into stunning artwork using traditional weaving techniques. They're created by Maker Scene Bali, founded by theatre designer Chloe Quinn and Balinese master weaver Gus Ari, to help replace single-use materials like plastic and styrofoam used in so many event installations. Instead, they make everything by hand, using natural biodegradable materials. Even the way the leaves are sourced is carefully managed, so the trees aren't damaged and can keep growing. They're woven into detailed structures, from huge sculptures and artscapes to wedding and event settings. Over their lifetime, they change from bright green to a rich bronze, celebrating the full life cycle of the leaf. Palm leaf weaving has been used for ritual arts in Bali for generations, and here it's reimagined by local artisans, helping keep these skills alive and relevant today. And from creative wins to conservation wins, a major dredging project in Florida has been halted to protect one of the state's last coral reefs. The plan aimed to deepen and widen shipping channels at Port Everglades to allow larger vessels to pass through. But scientists and conservation groups warned it could seriously damage a nearby reef system. The area is home to around 10 million corals, including one of the largest remaining populations of threatened staghorn coral. These concerns were also shaped by past experience. A similar dredging project effort in Port Miami destroyed hundreds of acres of reef and raised alarms about repeating the same mistake. Now, the US Army Corps of Engineers has stepped back, withdrawing its permit to reassess the environmental impact. For conservationists, this is a major win, but they say that the fight isn't over yet as efforts continue to make sure the reef is fully protected. If you're wondering how you can help, there's a link down below here to learn more and support the effort. Now to a bit of a clean energy breakthrough, as a team in the US is working to build the world's first ever super hot geothermal power plant. It aims to tap into extreme underground temperatures of up to 500 degrees Celsius, where a single well could produce far more energy than traditional geothermal systems. The breakthrough comes from a new drilling method that uses high-powered microwaves to break through rock, allowing engineers to reach deeper layers of the earth that were previously out of reach. If successful, this could unlock a new source of clean, always-on energy, expanding geothermal power far beyond the areas where it's currently possible. And our final story is about a company in Belgium that, instead of using plastic, is using fungi to turn waste into packaging. This is Fungi, based in Brussels, who started out by collecting coffee waste from local cafes to grow mushrooms with, but now they're using that same idea to create packaging materials. Here's how it works. Organic waste like sawdust is placed into moulds. Then mycelium, the root-like structure of fungi, is added. As it grows, it feeds on the waste and binds it together, naturally forming the shape of the mould. Once it's dried, it becomes a strong, lightweight material that can be used for packaging. And unlike plastic, it can break down naturally and return to the soil. Packaging waste is one of the biggest sources of global pollution, but this turns waste into a new material using nature to do the manufacturing. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching, and tap the like button if you've enjoyed this video and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next good news episode. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, my friend. Bye!